Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Greg Furman and these are the market positions for November the 21st, 2017. Now our first trade for tonight is going to be in the Forex market. We're looking at again to exploit some of this euro weakness as per this week's Forex weekly outlook. Now what we can assess here is we have what appears to be at least a top in place around 156.50, and we're looking at the key VantagePoint indicators. We can see that our medium term predicted difference is crossing over our long-term predicted difference. This is basically how VantagePoint measures the medium-term trend against the longer-term trend, and we can see that that is weakening. Our strength indicator is moving lower and our neural index is confirming. We also have what appears to be a pretty significant top at 79.9 on the predicted RSI. Now our 18-day predicted moving average, which is our key support level, is all the way down at 153.11. So for now, basically with the close of 155.37, we're playing a retracement back down to this key 18-day predicted moving average, or the 8-day, which is 154.37. But I'm going to check this off so everybody can see that. So with that top, what appears to be a top in place here, we're saying at least on a short-term basis, this particular currency pair is moving lower. Now, when we bring in our short-term crossover, we can see that our short-term crossover again is trying to move its way back down, as is the medium and the long term. Now, the further the blue line moves away from the black line, the more likely it is it's going to retrace back to it. So we've had a significant push up last week with that minimal euro strength, which I feel a lot of people thought was a breakout in the euro currency to the upside. But of course, as I discussed in this week's Forex Weekly Outlook, it was clearly a bull trap. So when we bring all of this together with this indicator, we then and only then go to the daily report. So for tomorrow, we're looking for the market to move higher. Now I'll point out again that this video is being made Monday evening at 6:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, ahead of the Asian market. So with that close for tomorrow, we're looking for a minor retracement up to 156.18. Then we're targeting all the way down to 154.93. We want to make sure that our stops are above this current retracement point, and you can see how I'm connecting the dots here. So once I've got this signal from VantagePoint, I then connect this and draw a resistance line right up here at 156.50. So all stops above 156.50, and we're looking for a retracement as close to 156 as we can to set our short positions. Now our second trade for tonight is going to be in the US technology sector. We're looking at the Canadian Solar, the CSIQ stock. Now when we look at this particular setup, it's very similar to our currency setup here, guys. We have our neural index higher, we have the medium term crossing over the long term predicted difference, and we're then bringing this up and connecting this to our current trend line. So our trend line's coming in at or about 1750. We're above the zero line on the predicted MACD. And on the predicted RSI, it's pretty much a perfect setup here for the most part at 63.6, as we're showing momentum building on this particular stock. So we want to make sure that we're actually looking at the key VantagePoint pivot areas, 1773 and 1790. We've got to close above both of these areas at 1813. So doing the analysis, this would tell me that this stock is getting ready to move back to our most recent swing high towards the $19 per share mark. But again, very important that we understand how to connect the dots in a particular trade. So after we've had this retracement lower based around the same basic signal that we had our medium term crossing over our long term predicted difference, telling us we were getting very toppy around this 1870 area. So the same thing that would turn around and have us go short will now tell us that we should probably be getting ready to go higher. So again, combining indicators and getting them all moving in the right direction is very helpful, along with the predicted RSI showing us momentum. When we look at our individual crossovers, our short term looks very good. Our medium term is just crossing the trigger now. So this is one of my favorite setups here, guys. The medium term crossover combined with the medium term long term predicted difference cross, with of course the predicted RSI in full support, showing we have momentum building. Not a bad setup here at at all. Now, our long-term crossover is not as convinced as our medium-term, but it's definitely starting to warm up to the idea with a lot of activity around 1790. So from here, guys, we go to the daily report. Only after doing our analysis do we come to the daily report for an entry point to assist with that entry point. So with the close of 813 for tomorrow, we're looking for a very minor pullback, guys, to 1796. We then target 1841 on an intraday basis, but I feel that we can push towards this $19 per share mark. And once again, I would make sure that all stops are below $17 per share. Now, with the global equity markets, guys, we hear so much about the equity markets are going to crash on a daily basis. This latest correction was a mere 1.4% correction. Now, we've been probably over 8 years without a 20% correction in the global equity markets. I don't dispute that it's probably coming, but by the looks of things, guys, it's probably not going to be this year, but it's something to always be mindful of with long-term cycles. But for now, there's still some decent buying opportunity in the global stock and currency markets.